And so that's what happened.
And why Mexico? Why did you move to San Miguel Allende?
Well, I mean, to go to Mexico in the first place, you know, I had done the Charlie Parker, Billie Holiday trip, if you get my drift. And so I had to get out of the country, went to Mexico. And then in Mexico, I traded that in for tequila. And took me some years to get out of that. And I was actually sleeping in the park in Mexico City. And a sculpture friend of mine said, "You need to go to this joint and sit in." So I went down and sat in. The guy came up to me and said, "You know, he said, we need someone who sings and plays in English. And we have a gig in this place, San Miguel de Allende." So I was on the bus to San Miguel, and that's how I got there.
And how long have you been there now?
I think the first gig I had there was in 1982. And but then after a while, like you talk about being reinventing yourself as I got older, I knew I had some more to say in New York. So I started coming back to New York on a regular basis. And every time I came back to New York, something good happened. And then that kept on happening. I kept on coming to New York. And I'm involved in something now. My latest project, Richard Sussman, who is the head of the composition department at the Manhattan School of Music, has written a score for me, in which I would be playing drums, scored for violin, French horn, clarinet, bass clarinet, tenor saxophone, piano, bass, and drums. And I'm at the beach right now. He sent me the music and the drum parts. I don't have any drums, but I'm looking it over, and we're going to rehearsal maybe in late March and record late in April. And I think even Gates got a gig for me too. I think in August up there. So you just keep on going.
That's the only way. Got a question here from Fred. Hello, Fred. He says, "Does Bobby still play the drums?" Well, yes. The answer is yes to that. Mexico is cool. Bobby, many Americans have a kind of a twisted perception about Mexico based on the lies that have gone on from political corners. We won't go into details about that. Paint a picture for us about what it's like to be a musician, a jazz musician in Mexico.
Well, in the early days, there was no internet, there was no cell phones. So if someone had a cassette or something from the States, that was a big deal. And at that time in my life, I was like a pioneer. And so I was kind of like in demand because, you know, American drummer and so forth. Now, after all those years, and with the internet and communication around the world, the Mexican jazz scene has grown and grown and grown. Gates came down, played a couple gigs with me and Gabriel Hernandez on piano, and a great saxophone player from Cuba, Alfred Thompson. And playing in Mexico is like in the old days, you know, they have these old classic theaters, and then you go into clubs and the people are right there in front. You know, you're not in this huge thing. It's pretty intimate. And there's a big interest in among the younger musicians to learn the music. And so I'm kind of half based in New York now because I got these projects to do. But I also keep a little gig in San Miguel Allende. sometimes with the Cuban pianist Gabriel Hernandez, and I have a trio down there with Patricio Mendez on piano and David Barrera or Sonio on the bass, and my partner been very supportive of me and very very beautiful in my life. She sings too, so I'm doing that and coming up to New York and doing that.
Down on the person road where chances are so slim. It's time to take a look at magic when the chances are so good. What we do is what we get, and love has season time. I hear it in the raindrops splashing flowers. And since the dawn of time, our spirit has been free. 'Cause after all, my effort failed. Now I keep you and me. Purple dream, you always sparkle through. Now it's all it ever be for us to drink it through. In everybody's eye, a purple dream, I'm all so tonight.
Yeah, this shows at the Club Cinco in the historic center of Mexico City. Is the premier jazz club in Mexico City, and this is a group of Gabriel Hernandez on the piano from Cuba, Jorge Browett, another Cuban, on the saxophone playing now. And they're really into the jazz, man. You know, Gabriel wrote the arrangements for me. Purple Dreams are my lyrics, and the music by a guy named Bob Ackerman, just passed away. It's an original song, and young Mexican crowd. They loved it. It was great. It was a hot night. And the drummer standing by me, this guy is playing the drums, is the new drum sensation, in Mexico now, Victor Monterrubio. And at that time, he was watching me play. Now I like to watch him play.